What's up, you guys? Happy Mother's Day to everybody. I am here today with my mother, and we're here to celebrate Mother's Day. Mother's Day. No problem. Today's live, we're going to be talking about my recovery and how my recovery has affected her life. If you don't know who I am, my name's Matt Jablonski. I'm a recovering meth addict turned motivational speaker. For the past 2 years, I've been running a Facebook page called The Point of Change. And it's now blossomed onto YouTube as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely come check my Facebook page out, facebook.com/The Point of Change. We got written posts, we got memes, we got live videos every morning at 10 a.m. Central. So come over and check me out. A lot more going on over there. So today, before I lose my train of thought here, I have my mama here. We're going to celebrate Mother's Day. We're going to talk about my recovery and how it's affected her life and how my being in recovery has pretty much brought my mom into recovery. And then I'm going to play a little game with my mom, and we're going to see how much she knows. and then we'll open it up for live Q&A. If you guys have any questions for my mom or for me, here the time. So let's get this show on the road. What's up, you guys? Matt Jablonski here with The Point of Change. Give me some likes, give me some loves, give me a share out if you would onto your own page if you wish. You don't have to, but if you could, send me out into some addiction groups and recovery groups all over Facebook. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Maddie.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for doing this right after work. And speaking of work, my mother works at Ladysmith Fresh Market. A big thank you to Ladysmith Fresh Market and the people who gave us this time here in their conference room to make this video. So if you're in the Ladysmith area and you're doing some grocery shopping, you better get over to Ladysmith Fresh Market and buy something from these for doing this. So, Mother, we'll start way back at the beginning. We'll go back in time, back to when I first come into recovery, when I went to jail for 97 days. What was that like for you, hearing that I was in jail?
I was relieved. I was relieved to know that you were in jail, because if you're in jail, you're alive. And I knew where you were. I didn't know for how long you were going to be in, but I knew you were there. We would occasionally, about once a week, go to the town where you were incarcerated to eat, and we had to drive by the jail, and I would always look at it and think, I should stop. And then I would think, what am I going to say to you? You're 30 years old. You know what you're doing is wrong. I'm not going to stop and lecture you, you know. And I didn't know what I would say to you. So for months while you were in, I didn't stop, because I just didn't know what I'd say or how I would react to seeing you. Yeah. And then you finally, but you did you pulled the courage together and came to see me in that jail cell. I'm glad you did. I'm glad I did too. I'm very glad I did, because I think that kind of helped you make up your mind.
Oh, it definitely did.
Because I know when I first got there, I had asked the jailer that if I would be able to hug you or hit you. And he said there's going to be glass between you. You won't be able to, do any physical contact. And I said, okay. I didn't know it was going to be a little 8x8 window.
Yeah.
And that was all I would be able to see you through. And to see you in that orange jumpsuit and with your hair shaved more so than what it is now. It was tough.
Yeah.
That was really tough to see you like that. And then you were really, really skinny. Really skinny.
Missing a bunch of teeth.
Yeah.
Almost all.
Yeah, but the teeth were missing because of you hitting yourself in the mouth with a wrench when it slipped off a nut. When you were working on
I'm a liar. I'm a big,
he was a liar. Yeah. And that was a story I always got was, I tightening a wrench and helping on Tony's car, and the wrench slipped off and it came back and hit me in the mouth, knocked my teeth out. Yeah.
Real smart. I'm smart.
Yeah. Didn't hit any of the bottom, just the top.
These ones right here. Yeah, I don't know how meth did that, honestly. I don't know how meth didn't destroy them about it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how it works. Maybe it's just a tight bottom lip.
You were being given a warning.
Yeah, those ones will go too. You better quit your shit.
Better get your shit together.
So then, I know you coming to visit me was a huge wake up call for me in that jail cell. Seeing you through that tiny little window, every week it was Dad that came to visit me, and seeing you come to see me was a huge wake up call. So all those little things played a part in it. When I got out of jail, and was there, there wasn't plans for me to move away when I got out. That was not planned. That was just a spur. So what were you afraid of, knowing that I was going to be getting out?
I wondered where you were going to go, what you were going to be doing. I didn't want to enable by having you come and live with us. Truthfully, I was worried if you came and lived with us, because we had a lot of things that I didn't want stolen from us. And I didn't know where your head was at, because when I saw you in jail, you had an attitude when I talked to you. And the jailer was kind enough to let me stay in for 45 minutes when it was supposed to be a 15-minute time, but he knew I hadn't been to see you yet, so he let us have 45 minutes together. And the small talk that we did have, there was a little bit of an attitude coming from you, and when I got out to the car, I lost it, because I was sure you were going to be back. You were going to be back. I thought the first thing he's going to do, he's going back into it. I figured you would, you were going to be gone. You would be back into the drugs. And in talking with Guy, your stepdad, about it, we really didn't know if we couldn't trust you to bring you back into the house. So we didn't know if you would be stealing from us, or if you'd be doing drugs in the house, or what was going to happen. So we had determined that we would support you while you were sober, while you were clean, but guardedly so, because we'd been lied to so much. The trust was gone. We just couldn't trust you.
No.
So it was, I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what he's going to do. I hope, if there's anything I can do to help him find a job, I will do it. But I can't live here.
Yeah. I know exactly. And then you would have made the right choice not letting me live there. But thank God, recovery, I didn't put anybody in that awkward position of making that decision.
And I didn't know you were going to move away until I got the message from you. I got a text message from you saying, "Mom, I'm moving to Whitewater. I'm not going to come see you. I don't dare stay any longer. Sorry, this is so short. This is so brief, but I have to go." And I was like, what's in Whitewater? And the first thing I'm thinking is bigger city, bigger drugs, easier to find, more drugs, and it freaked me out at first.
I bet.
I was really worried. I thought, well, and the same thing, you're that far away.
We're never going to see each other.
That's going to be it.
Yep. Yeah. Especially, like I think I just talked about it yesterday or the day before, but it was, I was 10 minutes away while I was in my active addiction. 10 minutes away, and we never seen each other. Rarely. Bumping into each other at Walmart on accident, and I tried my best to avoid you. And then, and maybe see each other on Christmas was about it. Yeah, no, not.
Didn't see you on Christmas either. You always had an excuse. Oh, Dad's bringing me over later. Yeah, well, that never happened.
Yeah, it was unreliable, is for sure. But so I imagine that was how was it once you started to see that I had moved away and who I was staying with and that I got that job? How did that feel? Excuse me.
I was so proud of you when you got your first job. I'm like, wow, and then that you were telling me that when you put out these jobs, when you were filling out the applications, that you were flat out telling them, I have a record. And you weren't covering it up. You weren't trying to hide it so that they'll maybe later they'll find out, but at least get my foot in the door. That you laid it right on the line. And I even talked to the store manager where I was working at the time. I even said something to him about that. And he said to him, that would mean more to you than that record you had, or more to him than that record you have, by you being forthcoming and so upfront about it and honest and not trying to hide it. He said, I would hire somebody like that faster than I would hire somebody who hid it from me, and then I found out by running a report on them.
Definitely.
So you did the right thing by doing that. It, made it helped you, and it helped you because when you got your first job down there, I think it was with Generac.
Yeah, right
it's
away.
Like, woohoo, yay, good for you.
Yeah, well, it was
the
supposed
baby
to
steps, and here we go.
Well, like I said, it wasn't supposed to be permanent. I mean, I was going down there to try it out to see if it worked for a week, and if it didn't work, Ryan was going to bring me back. So. And it was not a planned out thing.
Right.
I got out and Ryan just happened to message me. And I mean, well, I shouldn't say just happened to have. He messaged me every time I went to jail and told me to come down there. I always blew him off, just like everything else. And then, but this time it was different, And so what was your first big sign when I did get clean? What was the point where you were like, I think it's going to work this time instead of where it cleared doubts?
I think the first time that I realized it was going to work out was when you called me one night in the evening. It was pretty late. And you and Ryan had an argument. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And you were walking the streets, not wanting to go back home because he was still there. And you needed to stay away from him because you needed to keep your head right. And you were so depressed and you were so upset, not knowing what to do. And I'm thinking, I'm 4.5 hours away. I can't just pop down and get you, and help you out or get you a room or anything. I didn't know what to do. But just talking with you on the phone, and it was chilly and it was cold, and you were going to talk, I'm going to have to sleep on a park bench tonight, it's like, and the fact that you eventually, while we were talking, you eventually went back to the apartment and his car was gone. So you knew you could go back in. And that was when you had your own place. You had gotten your own place. And even having your own place, I thought, well, he was living with Ryan, so he had to stay clean because he's living with Ryan. But now he's got his own place. This might be your turning point. But it wasn't. And then that happened. And you said, okay, Ryan's gone. I can go home now. And the fact that you lived right over a bar, everything else was available to you right there, and you didn't turn to it. I felt you reached out to me. You reached out to somebody rather than reaching out to your drug dealer. And I thought, right now, he's got it. I don't know for how long, but you got it. If you get through that, which I could tell you were crying at different times while we were talking that night, you were so upset.
But the thing with Ryan has always been like, and that's the wonderful beauty of me and his friendship, is that when we fight like that, he pulls me afterwards. He doesn't push me away. He doesn't say, yeah, you're a screw up, get out of here. You're done. He always he wants to talk about it. And I mean, before that, me and Ryan got in a fight when I was living with him, and it came to blows, and we were beating each other up. And then I was gonna leave, and anybody else would have been like, fine, go. Get out of here. I don't want, you're get out of here then. But Ryan was like, no, I don't want you to leave. In fact, I don't want you to move out. I want you to stay because this scares me, he said. He said, someday you're going to have this happen and I'm not going to be there. And I don't want you to move out. I don't want that to happen. Ryan was awesome with me. Ryan was awesome with me.
He was a big part of your salvation.
Oh, he still is. He still is. Still on a daily basis and on a weekend basis. I'm over there. We just bought a boat together. We're so cute.
Did?
We did. We have such a cute romance.
Is it a little dinghy?
We're gonna name it the Little Dinghy. So there's the sign. There's the sign that it has to be named the Little Dinghy. So Ryan, if you're watching, it's the Little Dinghy.
A little dinghy.
We can go ahead and paint the Little Dinghy on the side of our boat. Let's see some comments here. Thank you guys for all being here, by the way. Send us up some more likes and loves and ha-has and all that. React along with us. Give me some comments. Let me know you're watching. Give me some recovery dates, all that stuff.
Let's see. Clean.
Michael Gostich. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your last name, brother. 4 years clean, up in the house. Right on, Michael. Keep going strong, brother. Keep going strong. Let's see.
Yeah, they don't do anything, Terry. That's for sure. He did.
Katie says, my daughter did 3 months in jail and now she has been doing pretty good. I just pray she stays on track. That 3 months, that's an awesome thing right there. That 90 days is huge. It's huge to get that break from everybody and everything and get the dope cleaned out of your head. That was huge for me anyways, I should say. Katie.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah in here? There she is. Hi, Sarah.
She said hi to me, not you.
I know.
Sarah! Happy Mother's Day, Sarah.
Oh, Katie says, I've been clean since 2/3/16.
All
She's
right.
1 year ahead of me, Mom, because I'm 2/3/17.
Right.
Let's see. I've been watching my daughter go through her active addiction. That's hell right there.
Yep.
Tiffany says, "Are you broadcasting from the store?" Maybe. Maybe we are. Yes, the people here at Ladysmith Fresh Market were nice enough to let us
Yep.
use their conference room to make this video. Because guess what? Up at my mom's, there's no signal, not a
Nope.
bit, and the
Nope.
Wi-Fi doesn't hold up for this either.
Nope, it doesn't work. Hi, Renee. Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Pam says 72513. Thank you,
418.
Pam, for sharing that.
Renee 418.
Oh, Renee Cooper 4819. Her and Higgy are dating now.
Oh.
Ooh, little recovery romance going on down there in Florida. Terry says, "I'm the mother of a recovering addict." Right, Terry. Stay strong. There is hope.
Terry, reach out to me if you want to.
Yeah, that's.
Yep.
Well, we will get on that. My mom,
Yep.
like I said, me being in recovery or addiction is a family disease, and recovery is the family solution.
Yeah.
And my being in recovery has pretty much brought my family into recovery, especially my mother. So let's get back to some questions.
Donnie's got a question.
Oh, Donnie, to your mom, how long did it take you to fully trust Matt wholeheartedly?
I think once he started. Well, there's some things. When he starts his R-rated videos, I don't trust
she
that.
She can't trust me because I talk about
sex. I don't trust that. So other than that, I think when you started the Point of Change, and I could see a change in you, and it was a good change. And then I said, okay. Yep.
So that's a moment.
And then when you would say, "I'm coming home this weekend," or "I'm coming up this weekend," and you did it.
And I'd be here.
And he would be here, and I'm going to be there for Christmas, and he would be here for Christmas. Then I realized that. Okay.
And when I'm home, I go see my friends and stuff.
Goes
But when I get the message that dinner's coming, guess what? I'm right back up at Mama's house.
Dinner. Not going to miss a meal.
Yeah, well, that's different. I missed a lot of meals with my addiction. So with me starting the Point of Change, I was going to say something about that, but I can't remember now.
Well, I'm seeing there's another one here.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead.
Where did I just see it? Colby, what is the one thing your mom has learned out of all this?
Just one thing? She's done so much. That's a learning process for everybody.
Never, ever give up hope. Don't give up hope. Keep trying. Don't enable. I learned that early on. Don't enable them, and then don't give them the things that enable them to stay using drugs. But I've learned that it takes a lot to trust them, and they have to earn it back, and Matt has earned it.
Oh, well, good.
Yes.
Good.
But I've earned, you learn a lot.
Yeah. Family's kind of left in the dark during an active addiction. So I think you've learned along with me, as me being a motivational speaker here, you've probably been learning a lot.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what you went through, especially early in the Point of Change. Some of the stuff that you would talk about or that you would post about, a lot of it was hard for me to see and hard to hear. But yet I felt I needed to know it, so I understood more about what you had gone through, and it helped me to understand different things that you had gone through. Some of the things that really hit me and touched me were, one was your nightmares that you were having, and some of the things that you said were, like you felt like you were in a dark hole, and you said you wanted to come home. And I had commented that, Matt, you could have come home anytime. You could have come home anytime, but it wasn't the home like the house that you were talking about. You were talking about the home life. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So there's been a lot of huge moments in my recovery. Even I get blown away by my moments in recovery. But if you had to pick a top one or two, I was going to say pick a favorite moment of my recovery. What was your proudest moment of the point, through starting the Point of Change, through speaking on the state capitol and everything?
Probably speaking on the anniversary of your recovery at the theater in Ladysmith. And I mean, I had a hard time that night. I was trying to video part of it right at the start, and even just talking about you gonna be there, gonna do it. It still does. I had a hard time. I mean,
Yeah.
I started choking up, and even some of my friends commented right away, "Quit crying, Patty." It's like, hey, I'm proud. I'm
Yeah.
proud that he's alive and up there doing this and helping other people, and very proud that you're able to help
Mm-hmm.
so many people and that you do help so many people.
Man, I try.
And
I
that's,
try.
so for me, and that night was a really bad snowstorm.
Uh-huh.
It was horrible, and the event was supposed to take place at the library in town here in Ladysmith, and they had room for 50, I think. They could put 50 in there, and before that night, they realized that there's way more people than that that's gonna be there, and I believe we counted, like 130 people at the theater that night because they moved it to the theater so they had room for everybody. And a terrible blizzard going on, over a foot of snow in a matter of just a few hours.
Yep.
And we had 130 people that showed up, and then another 170 plus that watched it online.
And thousands who have seen it since
Thousands
then.
who have seen it since then.
Yeah.
And that, and when you talked at the schools,
Mhm.
the next day, or the day that
It was the next
the
day.
next day
Yeah.
when you talked at the schools, and the amount of kids when kids can be cruel and kids can be rude and not pay attention, and I mean, we've all been there. They they got some guy up on stage talking, and we're going to sit over here and talk to our friends. And when you started your presentation out with the song Sober,
Shout out to Casey Makes Music and Jordan Meyer.
there you go. And when where I was sitting, I could watch the kids that were sitting there, that were there, that came there to listen to you. And when I would look at them, everyone was locked onto that video.
Mm-hmm.
It had their full attention.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of them that you could tell that it was affecting them emotionally.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were tearing up and understanding.
Yeah.
And then once you started talking, you had their attention. They were fully engaged. They paid attention. They listened. They were not rude. They were right there. At the end of his speeches, and one in particular in the schools, when he was done, it was like a football game or a basketball game where they had just won and everybody stormed the floor.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my gosh, look at this. And the kids and the teachers
Lining
stormed
up,
the floor,
lining up to give me hugs and handshakes.
And just it was amazing. So he touched them. And then we've had people since you've been back when we happen to be going to Walmart or somewhere, one of the stores, and we walk through, and people will come from their cars over and say, "Hey, aren't you that speaker guy? I saw you at the school. At such school. Thank you. You did a good job."
Uh-huh. Yeah. Who remembers that? Who
Yeah.
remembers the speaker at high school?
Yeah.
I don't remember the speaker that came to talk about addiction when I was in high school. I don't
So
remember.
yeah, those are proud moments for me to realize that you have touched their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You've helped. We had
So,
one today now when we
yeah,
were coming
yeah,
up here. Well, I noticed one of the cashiers kept looking over at him and looking over at him, looking over at him, and I said he was a grad,
he was in Bruce High
he
School
was
when
at
I
Bruce
spoke
High
there.
School and he spoke there. And so I said, I think he's recognizing you and saying, I think I know that guy. So we'll have to stop, don't say hi.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I just seen Kimmy down there and gave her a big hug.
Yep.
She loved that.
Yep.
So with my advocacy for recovery and pushing a good message, you started to be more open about being the parent of an addict.
Yeah.
And what's the response been like for that?
The response has been great. The county has actually reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to start a group for parents and family members, and which social distancing right now is not allowing that. But once we're past this, that is my hope, to be able to help other parents understand. Because for me, when I was going through it, you didn't talk about it. You kept it quiet because there's a stigma, and there's still a stigma attached to it.
Oh, not only to addicts, but to the parents too.
Right.
Well,
To the
it's a
family.
parenting flaw.
Yep. And it's not a parenting error. It's not the parent's fault. It's a defective gene.
Defective brain.
And it's not defective from the parents. It's just, and sometimes it can be hereditary though.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's nothing we've done, and the shame that we feel and the guilt that you feel, so you hide it inside and you don't tell anybody. And that's not right, because you need friends and you need people to talk to. So I want people to be able to come to me and talk to me about it and know that it's okay. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge your child. I'm not going to judge anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've been through it. I've done that. And that is the way I felt. Everybody, if they knew, they were going to judge me, they were going to judge you, they were going to judge the rest of the family. And I didn't want that.
Mm-mm.
And so part of the thing, touch my face. Oh,
you're done. You're done now. We gotta end the video. We gotta end it.
Quick, grab some sanitizer. Sorry. The group that I've got another friend who's going to work with me on this, and we know that there is still the stigma attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
My feelings on it are that part of that stigma comes from the word addict.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a bad vibe about the word itself.
Mm-hmm.
An addict. So we need to find a different word we can use.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what it is.
Well, they use people who suffer with a substance abuse disorder.
That's too long.
That's such a mouthful, isn't it? I suffer with a substance abuse disorder.
No, I'm getting old. Memory's not going to work on that one.
See, I guess the way I look at it, I think that we just need to change the way people think about that word as opposed to changing the word. Because I myself am super proud to be an addict, and to be an addict in recovery, even more proud.
Right. Right.
I mean, there's not a lot, not a lot of people that are going to be prideful in being an active addict, but but once you come into recovery is when that word becomes to mean something good to you.
Right.
And I think that's, if more people understood, like you said, that it's not parent murder, it's that what appears to be bad behavior, what appears to be a bad person is actually symptoms of an underlying issue.
Right.
And
the family collateral damage from the disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Addiction manipulates you. Addiction manipulates you in ways that you don't even know.
Right.
A lot of addicts will say, I made a conscious decision to use every time I used. I made that decision. So there's no way it's a disease. It's a choice because I myself went through it and I myself made the choice every time to go get high. But if you look at it as addiction on a smaller level, like say your cell phone, how many a day to see on Facebook and say, I'm done with that thing. I'm done scrolling. I'm not going to pick that up. And then 2 minutes later, all of a sudden you realize you're looking at your phone again and you're scrolling. And you don't even know how this thing got back in your hands.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? I was done with that. Why am I back on Facebook? That's a small example of a bigger thing that, you didn't make the conscious decision to pick up your phone again and start scrolling. All of a sudden you just realize, and it's the same thing with an addiction with drugs. It's before those stressors triggers hit, before you're on the phone, you're sending texts and you're getting a hold of the dude,
back into it.
And so it's not bad behavior,
Right.
it is bad behavior, criminal behavior, but you're being manipulated by things inside your own head.
Right.
That's not a problem that way.
Yep. And one of the things, anybody who is in the Russ County or Barron County, Price County area, the Ladysmith area, we are going to be starting a support group. But due to the stigma that's attached to this, I have to talk to the county about it. What I want to do is I want to have a form, not really even a formal group. I don't want to have it that every Wednesday night we are meeting at the library so that everybody in town knows that any car that's at the library might be a family member of an addict, because there are those out there that are going to look down on us.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start a group that's a little more relaxed, that we meet like one day a week at a park and everybody brings something to drink, non-alcoholic, and some bars. And we'll meet at a picnic table in the park. and we'll have a discussion and we'll talk about. I am not a professional. I have no degrees. I've graduated from the School of Hard Knocks, but I've been there, been through it. I might be able to help you. I might be able to give you resources to find help. That's what I want to do. A friend of mine is going to join me in it, and we're going to work together on it. We're hoping to set up other resources so that we have more things available to the family members, be it a mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, whoever, or even just a close friend that wants some support. So somebody that can say, it's okay, we've been there, so we know. And this is maybe something you could try, or, or just a shoulder to lean on, somebody that you can talk to that's not going to judge you. And so we might do it this Wednesday at 1:00. And then in 2 weeks, we might do it on Thursday at 6:00. So that, and it's going to be random. And we will send out a little private message through Facebook that, okay, we're going to be meeting on this day. If anybody wants to be there, or you want to talk, here's where we're going to be. We're good.
Yeah.
And this is what we're looking at. So if anybody's interested, private message me, hit me up. I'm on Facebook, of course, private message me and let me know you're interested. And so we get this group together, and we could start it now, but if they all show up at the park, even sitting 6 feet apart, they might bring the cops, and that might be a little awkward. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. We're having brownies. You want some?
Talking about drugs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Let's see.
So somebody says Terry, I run a group called Mother's Love. There you go.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a good name for something like that. All right, we're way up in the comments where I've already been. Okay, I too am the mom. Oh, this is from Susan Marie. I can put them up on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I too am a mom with my daughter in prison for addiction. How can I help her when she is released in July? I already want, and so does she, Maddie, to be one of her support systems. Well, that right there is your biggest thing right there. Just be a member of the support system. That's the best way you can help to stop the enabling and just become part of a member of their support system that they can lean on when they need you. Okay, Renee Cooper, happy. Oh, okay. I try not to read the replies, but sometimes I get into them and then I'm like, well, then we have to find the original message.
Yeah.
Okay, Donnie Charles says, you are such a strong woman not to enable. I put my mother through the same, but I never realized at the time how much hell I put her through until I got clean. You're awesome.
Thank you. You're right there with him. He was the same thing.
Yeah, I definitely put the whole family through hell.
You're pretty much every addict has done that. You're not alone. It wasn't you, it was the drug.
Definitely.
It's the drug.
It's cool that you got to go to the Capitol.
Yes,
yeah, it was awesome. Speaking at the rally for recovery last summer, that was great. Renee says, my mom is so proud of me today. Awesome, Renee. Good. That is awesome. Let's see, Colby again. Presentation at the theater left me speechless. It was so good. Awesome. Thank you, Colby. That was awesome to see you there.
He got a standing ovation and a lineup of people. I think he talked to pretty much everybody that was there, got the chance to meet you in person and talk. Meet you in person, but got to talk to you. And
Right. Let's see, Donnie. Let's see, Maddie, I'm proud that you own your story and tell it to so many people won't, and so many need to hear you can recover if you really want to. Right, you can. You can. It's a lot of learning, It's a lot of learning. Terry's, let's see. Katie Santillo, Mama Patty LeMay, thank you for raising Matthew, faults and all. He has helped so many.
If he'd only actually listened to his mama.
Maybe that would have helped a little bit. I don't know. He has helped so many people, and part of that is because of the love he has for the world. Thank you for supporting him.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, me neither. Let's see, Renee, I love seeing the love you have for each other. Those smiles are beautiful. Thank you, Renee. I love it too. The relationship I have with my mother is completely because of recovery. Like if I wasn't in recovery, there's no way we could be this open with each other. There's no way we could be this honest and be sitting here talking about the drugs that I was doing and all this, and it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. So I want to test my mother's drug knowledge today. Look Look at her looking at me.
I already told him this quiz thing was a big surprise. Big surprise. And then I'm still the mama. I can still whoop his butt. So don't embarrass me.
We're gonna see what my mother knows today. So what I have here is some flashcards I've made
Oh, Lord.
with different drug slang on
Oh,
them.
they're pictures.
No, they're just words. They're just words, but they are different drug-related slang. Either some of them are utensils, some of them are activities. But I want to see which ones you know. We're going to test you.
Probably not going to pass this.
Yeah, let's start with
with an easy one.
Start with an easy one. We'll break. Oh, and here's one that applies to me. The first word is shards. Oh, trigger warning for all you recovering addicts out there. These words can be triggering, but hey, here's a word that'll trigger you.
Better late than never.
Anyways, do you know what that is, Mother?
It's something to do with the pipe, isn't it?
Nope.
No.
That is a slang term. Meth is shards.
Oh. Okay.
See, this is going to be educational.
We're not keeping score either.
Oh, all right. I was just about to start a pile of ones you got wrong. Dat boy.
Is that your dealer?
No.
Lord.
That is a code word for heroin. Is dat boy. Mm-hmm.
See,
the things you learn. This is going to be educational.
And
for
I don't
everybody.
watch any of the Richie Weber, like 60 Days In or anything to see that, because sometimes those are a little too much for me.
So what you know about addiction, you've learned from me, and we don't cover these terms on the point of change.
Exactly.
So she might not get too many of these right, but this is good. This is good. Next one, rig. Do you know what a rig is?
Well, it's got to be something with setting everything up.
I know, yeah. Rig is if you inject it as your needle and your tie off and all that is your rig. That's your rig. See, these are code words to watch for. If you're helping a recovering addict, watch for
some
this
of it
stuff.
I've heard from cops.
I shouldn't be saying these words anymore. Playing darts.
Oh yeah, that is shooting up.
Yep, that is shooting up. Terrible. And there's more reasons than just hiding this stuff, why we give these nicknames. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. Falling out.
That's when you're coming down from...
Close. This is when you're overdosing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a simple, stupid term we give to overdosing.
Okay.
Next one.
I have no idea.
That's ecstasy.
Say your girlfriend. The ex. We don't call her name. We don't say her by her name. So she is the ex.
That's it too.
Okay.
That's an easy one. Glass.
Oh, that's your pipe.
Nope.
No.
I mean,
that's easy.
I could give you a half a point on that one. That's another nickname for meth. Is glass. But I suppose we could give you a half a point. Half a point.
Does everybody else
really
feel
happy.
dumb?
I'm really happy.
Raise your hand.
I'm really happy she's doing so horrible. I really am. I'm glad you don't know these things, Mom. Tripping balls.
When they're hanging low, when you're 80 years old.
Oh my God. That's when you are under the influence of psychedelics.
Okay.
You are tripping balls.
No, I like my version better.
Bub? Yes, pipe. For a meth pipe.
I got those wrong.
Dat girl. You know who dat girl is?
Would that be cocaine?
It would be.
Ding, 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 ding. Pile. That is sad.
I'm happy you don't know any of these, Mother. This means you led a pretty good life.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling? You probably no idea what rolling is either, do you?
Well, is it got to be related to falling out? Rolling in?
No. This is under the influence of ecstasy. It would be rolling.
Okay.
All right, so you got one correct. A whole pot, and 1.5. 1.5.
Yeah,
I'm going to consider a half a point for glass.
Oh, well.
There you go.
Oh, well.
That was fun.
You like that one, Renee, the tripping balls? Yeah, wasn't that? I mean, hey.
I'm so glad. This was so fun. So now, if you guys have any questions for us, now that I know my mom don't know crap about drugs, which makes me happy. But if you guys have any questions for me or my mom, now is the time for you to go ahead and drop them in the comments. We're going to go back up a little ways and see what people had to say here. Got some happy Mother's Days, of course, all over the place.
And right back to all the mommies out there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Donnie Charles says that's your degree, living through it, because you said that you'd been through the School of Hard Knocks. Oh, let's see what you say.
Tiffany.
I was going to leave you a note on your car. I'm out of pen.
She's a ladysmith, obviously.
Yeah, she told me she was down in Cornell. She wanted to grab coffee or something, but I told her I'd get a hold of her when I left. But if you're still in town, Tiffany, let me
Yeah,
know.
if you're by the store,
Yeah, come on in. Come on in.
you can't come up where we are right now.
No,
but
no. Just go do some shopping here at Louisville Fresh Market. Get yourself
Check
some
it out.
groceries. Yeah, let's see. Terry says, Maddie, I would love to talk to you. There is a button right on my page, dear, for you to message me. You can message me anytime. Just don't hit on me. That's all I ask.
Yeah, he has this thing about relationships.
I sure do.
Commitment.
I sure do. Yeah. Well, see, if I have to help people, you have to stay on the outside perspective.
Right.
And if they start
Gotcha.
flirting and it starts getting to a flirty thing, then there's no
That's
helping
weird.
anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Happy Mother's Day,
Could make-
beautiful Lex Hoffman. What's this one here? Could make a Facebook group and do Zoom meetings for your
Yeah,
support.
we could do that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely could.
That's true. Thanks, Colby.
It's a good idea. Let's see. Maddie, did you try any good food when you were in Madison? I love it down there. I didn't have much time. I was speaking on the state steps. What did we go? Me and Troy and Janine went down there, and we went to eat at a Greek place, and we had gyros. I can't remember the name of the Greek restaurant though. I think it's
Burger King?
no, Burger King. It was an actual good Greek restaurant. It was
okay.
really good gyros. Let's see. Let me
See,
I wish I had.
look at this. Don't know.
Wow,
See,
very interesting.
Johnny,
Didn't
yay,
know.
good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Tiffany's now halfway back to Cornell.
Oh, see.
No spot to turn around either, I'm sure.
Oh, that's all
Yeah.
right. That's all right.
Next time.
See, oh look, it's Raz.
Hi, Raz.
Raz, I was just thinking about you last night. I was like, it's Raz. Oh, well, thanks for coming by, anyways, Raz.
Yeah.
Nice, Raz. We'll put her up there.
Yeah.
Nice to see you both. Just arriving at work. See you a couple of minutes. Didn't talk about Mom. Is the
What?
fact that we both have the recovery ribbon tattoo.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
we totally missed that one.
Yeah.
I got this one over here.
Got
And she's
her.
got my mother's very first tattoo at 30 years old. She got the support
Thank you,
ribbon.
at 30 years old. Thank you. Yeah. And
Yep.
support, and I've got the 3 boys' names on it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yep.
She's got a plethora of boys in recovery these days.
Yep.
It's good though. That's
Yep.
good. Oh, here we go, Caroline. Thank you for the question. When did you first realize Maddie was using, and how did you cope with that?
I had suspicions that he was. And then, of course, you hear it through the grapevine, you hear it, from other people. And of course, you deny it at first, the denial, and no, can't be. And eventually you have to realize that you can't say it's not my child. That's it sounds cliche. It's not my child because it's somebody else's child, because remember, to somebody else, you're somebody else. It can happen to anybody. It doesn't, we had a good relationship. We had, a lot of things I found out now through your recovery, your depression as a child and continuing depression. Never let signs on, because always happy-go-lucky, always joking around, kidding around. I don't know where you get it, but it's just one of those things. Always happy, always smiling, joking, laughing. Didn't realize that he was using it to cover up. A
mask.
Some of the other things that you were going through at the hands of others, didn't know. A lot of it was hidden from me. I didn't realize it, didn't see it. And
that's another thing that goes back to these words we just went over, is the code words and the secrets and the lies and the stuff. And these code words, I was going to say before, code words is more than just to keep it secret from other people. It's actually subliminally. Code naming your drugs is a subliminal thing we do to ourselves to dull the pain, because you can't use the actual words for the drugs, and the actual act of what you're doing takes all the fun out of what you're doing. If you were to just say, yeah, I'm gonna go shoot up methamphetamine in my arm, it doesn't sound very fun. But if you say, I'm gonna go play darts with some M, it's easier, it's more palatable for yourself It's actually you are. You're covering it up for yourself. So.
And as far as how you cope with it, I coped with it. I didn't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody. You don't want people thinking bad of your kid. You don't know if you're going to lose your job if somebody finds out. You don't know if you're going to lose your friends if they find out. So you just kind of, for me, I just buried it inside. And I know that's what a lot of family members do. They cover it up. If somebody mentions something, oh, I saw him the other day and wow, he was really tweaked out. Oh, he must have been really tired. Yeah, he's working a lot of hours at work, so he's really tired. That's probably what was going on there. And always had the flu. He's not feeling so good these days. I saw him the other day. He looked like he lost a lot of weight. Yeah, he hadn't been feeling good for a while. Always. So your lies became my lies. So I started lying to cover up for you because I didn't want people to know. I didn't want to think bad.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's most addict parents get
so
to that same point.
You cope with it by covering it up, crying in secret, praying a lot of prayer. And it finally got to the point where, and actually I shouldn't say it finally got to the point, because there were a lot of times where I just flat out would say, God, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do it. It's in your hands because I'm done. And a few days later, okay, God, I'm back. And that happened to all of you. It would just get to that point. And then there was finally a realization that, and I know that with you and also then with Troy too, where I was to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And on my way to work, and I'd be crying, and I can't do this anymore. I can't. I need you to take it from me. Take this burden because I just can't do this anymore. And it was just a sense of relief that came over me. And I'm not pushing religion on anybody, mind you, but such a sense of relief finally came over me. And I could hear is the only way to put it. Don't worry, let it go. I've got this. It's gonna be okay. And I believed it. And it was the first time that I'd actually heard that and felt that strongly. And I was like, okay. And my day went better. And then all of a sudden things started falling into place. You were, doing much better down there. And then when the same thing happened with Troy, within a couple of weeks, he got Abby. He got his daughter. And it was like, wow, that really was God talking to me. God really did just tell me, it's okay, you can let go, Mom.
Yeah.
I'll take over from here. Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely needed.
So, yeah.
Definitely needed. I seen
So, yeah, that's your coping skills.
Tammy Bailey.
Other things you can't handle so well. But.
We all handle pain differently. We all handle trauma differently. And most of us handle it wrong. That's just how it comes down to. We're humans. We're mistakes. We are fallible creatures. So, it's like she said, that's how she coped with it, was just burying it. That's not healthy, but that's how you get through it how you get through it, Hang on.
And then I discovered hair dye. Cover all the gray hair.
Let's see. Susan D'Angelo says, Happy Mother's Day. My husband just came home a week ago from rehab for alcoholism. God bless him and God bless you, dear. Let's see. Once he was in recovery, how long until you started to trust again, breathe a bit, etc.? Well, I want to say first off that alcoholism is one hell of a battle. That really is. I conquered meth, but I've said a million times before, meth isn't available at every grocery store. Meth isn't available at the gas station. You can just, when you're an alcoholic, you can go down the street and get your drug of choice right there, sold. For legally sold. So alcoholism is a hell of a thing to kick. The trust again is going to take some time, but
it does.
If you wanna answer that one for her, Mama.
It does take a long time. You just in little baby steps. You don't want to test them. They have to prove themselves to you. So I don't want to say don't. I don't know how to put it. You have to eventually let go in little bitty pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Trust but verify. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Trust that if he says I'm going to run out to the garage for something, trust that that's what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then verify that he didn't go out and find a bottle hidden out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, trust but verify. That's about the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. And make sure he feels included with everything too. And
Right.
and I know being his wife, that's, you feel like that
Yep.
should be stock, that should be standard. He should know that he's involved in everything. But just make sure that he knows, like when you're going to the store, that he can come, and
Yep.
when you're going wherever, that he can come with you. And
Yep.
in fact, you don't have to force him to be with you all the time, because that's going to make him want to run. But just make sure he knows that the option is available, and don't be too pushy, but be a little pushy about it.
Right.
Insist a little bit that he come
Right.
with you, and that he be with you, and that you do things together. Let's see, it's
Terry,
not so much.
Terry Lovin, I saw your post. Send me a friend request.
Yeah, Patty LeMay. I don't know
Patty
if
LeMay.
it won't show up on here, but yeah, definitely, guys. I don't know if you'll be tagged in the video or not. It might tag you, it might not, because I'm through StreamYard. So, but I can tag you in it later. Maybe my page doesn't let me do cool things sometimes. I don't know. But Tammy said it's not so much a lack of trust; it's fear of their relapse. I understand that fear, and that is something you have to go with that one.
There, I commented so you can tag me.
There's my mama, Patty LeMay.
Oh, look, she's watching.
Oh, yeah, hey, mama, how are you? But yeah, the fear of the relapse, Tammy, is it's the fear for all of us. That definitely is. Work with them the best you can. All you can do is take it one day at a time.
Yep.
That's all you can do.
And like you said, if you're going to the grocery store, not only let him know that he can come, tell him he's coming.
Yeah.
Take him with you.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be, don't force it, but at the same time, just tell them, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'd like it if you'd come with me.
Yep.
Let's see, Maddie, can you ask your mom to add me to Oh, I see. Oh, that already happened. Wow. I didn't have to ask her. She found it. Let's see. Pam says, speaking for myself, even though I am a recovering addict, going to Nar-Anon meetings really helped me deal with my 25-year-old grandson, who is a heroin addict and now, by grace of God, celebrating a year, April 25th.
Yay for your grandson.
Awesome for both of you.
And for you too, Pam.
And
good for you.
That's another thing. Recovery, you don't have to be a drug addict to be in recovery. You can have you can have a family member. You could have gone through a traumatic event. I mean, recovery is a beautiful place to be. Get to those meetings, go to those Al-Anon meetings, go to the, come to like pages like mine, and like pages like these other guys that are out there speaking, Drew Hicks and Richie Weber and all them, and get as much knowledge as you can on this stuff.
Right.
Let's see. Kimberly Lynn, how has your relationship changed with each other since Maddie's been in recovery? How can you help someone who is using, who wants to be in recovery, but keeps going back?
Part one,
you can answer, and I'll answer part two.
Relationship changed. I think as we've grown closer. We used to be close.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then the drug kind of separated you from us because the drug took you away.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
But then since you've gone into recovery and gotten healed, we've become much closer.
My relationship with all of my family members is just 10 times what it used to be.
When I call him, he actually answers his phone most of the time.
It's a blessing of recovery. If I'm not working, I'm generally right there, man.
If I message him, he actually answers me.
Uh-huh.
May not be right away, but he always answers. It's not months or just totally ignored.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
I try. That's the big thing. And part two, how can you help someone who is using, who wants to be in recovery, but keeps going back? You can support them. You can be a little bit of an advocate for yourself, and push recovery, and say how awesome recovery is. And, hey, I know these guys. This guy that I went to high school with, you might say, that's now in recovery. And you can tell them, give them examples, give them books they can read, give them all the support and love, make sure they feel connected, because that's the biggest thing is, making sure that they're loved and accepted, even though they've done bad things, because the shame and the guilt of what we've done a lot of times feels like people aren't going to forgive you, people aren't going to trust you, people aren't going to love you anymore, you're done, you've gone too far, you can't make it back. So make sure that all those feelings are, valid and expressed that they are loved, that you are there for them, that that they can make it back, and just keep patting them on the back. All those little things, hey, congratulations on going to work, congratulations on your first week, congratulations on your first paycheck. Just build them up. Build them up. That's the best thing you can do. Anthony T, my supervisor. Sorry I'm so late. You better be sorry, sir. I am honestly offended. Honestly. He was razzing. He made a live video yesterday and was razzing me because at the end of my live video yesterday, I went to hit the finish button and there was a stupid chat head there. And I hit the chat head instead and it opened and I was like, oh, wrong button. And then I ended it. So then he goes and makes a live video and I'll do what Matt Jablonski does. Sorry guys, hit the wrong button. Yeah, Gillen. No, I love you, Anthony. Thank you for being here, brother. Back around. Katie says the Jablonski brothers video was pretty cool too. In support of family members' points of view is right on. Yes, I love that video. That was awesome. We were out in Colorado, spreading my father's ashes in the mountains, and I thought it was perfect, appropriate time to get all my brothers together and make a video and apologize to them for my addiction and everything. So yeah, that was an awesome video. Thank you for checking it out, Katie. And thank you guys for checking out this video. Give me some shares and give me some likes, loves. If you haven't already shared the feed, make sure you hit that little share button down there.
Tammy says it's not so much a lack of trust, fear of the relapse.
Yeah, we were talking about that for a little while. But yeah. It definitely is. Definitely is.
Definitely.
Let's see if any of you guys have any questions. Don't be afraid. Just shoot them up there. Let's see. Tammy, bringing my daughters up in recovery had given me a gift that will continue for life. My daughters broke the circle of addiction with their children. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is a line that seems to run in there. The evidence is kind of out on that, if it is actually a genetic thing that gets passed on, or if it's actually just because the child is raised in that kind of environment and it just increases the risk of addiction. There's a lot of different ideas as to what goes on with children of addicts, whether or not it being an addict, having an addict for a parent, they're not sure, honestly, if that whether or not be an addict, but the chances are increased just because they could be in that environment. But like I've said before, that can go either way. Like myself, I was raised in I like to say that I was raised in Mayberry, a beautiful, loving home. And I turned out to be a meth addict. And I have friends who never became an addict, but they were raised in meth-filled homes and they were raised around drugs and parents that drank, and they just aren't a non-addict, So it's that old nature versus nurture argument there. Let's see, Pam. My children now, 47 and 44, were raised by my mother, the best, and again, by God's grace, they are both normal, functioning members of society.
Good.
That is good to hear, Pam. Definitely is. I'll scroll up, make sure we didn't miss anything, but then we could probably end this pretty sudden here. We've been going for an hour now. Ooh, 58 minutes coming up. I think we were keeping up pretty good, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. Let's see, what is the one thing? Yep. I already covered that. Yeah.
To your mom, how?
Oh, where was it?
Saw one up low. Keep going. Nope, not there.
There's Joshua again.
Maybe got it. I don't know.
Maybe. There's Joshua. Went to jail for 5 months. Best thing that ever happened to me. Got fit, healthy, cleaned out. Now I've been sober since October 9th. Extremely happy. Right on, Josh. Yeah, Josh has been a follower here at the Point of Change for quite a while. Proud of you, Josh. Keep kicking ass, man.
Good.
Let's see. Katie. Moms are so amazing. The strength they have to support all their children and grandkids. When so often it takes different hats with each person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And Tammy, love hearing your mom's perspective. Me too. This kind of stuff is fun it's fun for me. It's a growing experience for both of us.
Yep, it is.
All right. Yeah, I guess we will let these
resentment got stuck on stupidity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Maddie. And no problem.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Well, this was an awesome Mother's Day special.
It was.
If you guys know anybody, any addicts or mothers of addicts who you think would really get something good out of this video, go ahead and tag them in the comments and let them know to watch this or share this video out, and let people know that it was a good watch. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Mom, you got anything you want to say?
Stay happy.
Stay healthy.
Stay clean.
Right on.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, Mom. Oh, no problem.
Love you.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Love you too.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching.